and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause on a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Today we are going to be letting Kerplunk choose my TBR. So February has been a really interesting month in the fact that I have read a ton of books, but none of them have been on my TBR. And the funny thing is I actually set myself up for success. I picked small books because I knew I had this big project I was working on, and I still didn't read them. It's fine. It's fine. So we're gonna end up taking a punishment, but let's talk about how we did. Literally, of the 9 books on here, I read 2 of them, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I am filming this really early. We still have over a week, but I'm trying to film this and get this out before I have surgery. I'm having dental surgery again, and I don't want to have like a swollen face and film this video, so we're doing it early. So I've read this book, and then also Spear, but I already unhauled it. And by the end of the month, I should get to these 3, maybe 4, maybe. But then these 3, not gonna happen. Although this one I'm unhauling. Artemis. In my TBR video, everyone was telling me, oh, you should just unhaul it. It's not good, but nobody ever said why. And then I watched Bethany's Goodreads video where she read all of the past sci-fi winners, and Artemis was one of them, and she went into great detail as to why that book was so bad. And so, I'm gonna unhaul it. I will link that video down below. It's fantastic, but, yeah. We're just gonna unhaul it. We're gonna count it. But anyways, I'm still gonna have to take punishment. So if you're new to my channel or you didn't used to watch these categories, basically what we're gonna be doing is going to be doing the D12 dice. That will tell me how many sticks I'm going to be pulling, how many books that I'm pulling for March. And then the D6 die I will pull in addition for my punishment. So there's the potential for 18 books here. Really hope we don't get that. So we're gonna do the D12 first. Okay, not terrible. We have a 6. Okay, so that's our first one. And then basically we're gonna add whatever is the D6 to that. Okay, and we have a 4. So we're getting 10, which is more than we had in February. It's a lot, but it's okay. We will do that, it's fine. So we'll be pulling 10 sticks, getting 10 prompts, and we'll go from there. There are a couple of required reads that I'm going to be doing. I am going to be one of the co-hosts for Tour.comathon, which is hosted by Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and there's a bunch of other hosts as well. I'll link everyone down below, and Bethany does have like an official announcement. So I don't know if I'm going to do a separate video for it or if I'm just going to vlog it, but there is like a bingo board, and so we'll see how we fit in there. I don't know. I'm not going to like do like extra work to try to get like a blackout or anything. The group book actually gets a lot of the prompts, and that is Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. This is a really short novella, and it's about a magical detective that dives into the affairs of Chicago's divine monsters to secure a future with the love of her life. This sapphic period piece will dazzle anyone looking for mystery, intrigue, romance, magic, or all of the above. And that sounds delightful. So I'm very excited about this one. I'm also going to be reading The Pledge by Cale Dietrich. This is the Not Your Mom's Boozy Book Club pick for March. We will be doing a live show for this at probably the end of March on my channel. We read Sorry Row in February, and that one will be on Cal's channel the first weekend in March. We'll talk about that book. We had to push it back a week because of my surgery, and I was going to be on antibiotics, and I wanted to be able to drink. So we pushed it back a week. But anyway, The Pledge is a young adult queer horror. Sounds very interesting. Very excited to read and talk about that one. And those are like pretty much the required reads for me. I'd love to participate in Late Night Cruise, which is the new S.I. Chakraborty book. Many Adventures of something. I can't remember. There's the cover. And I really love S.I. Chakraborty's writing. And so this is like pirates. And that sounds exciting. But it's a big book, so we will see if it can fit onto the TBR somehow. With all that said, let's go pick our first books. All right, here we go. I'm very afraid of this one because I don't feel like I put it together very well, so we should have lots of fun. Let's do a quick refresher. Remember that green means that it has to be set in the past. Orange or red means that it needs to be set in the present. Yellow means it needs to be set in the future. So I have cards here. I have the green, the orange, and the yellow. These are prompt cards that will match these sticks, and then the black card, which you can't really see here, but these are the punishment cards. If marbles fall, I will pick a card, and that will help me determine which book that I have to pick, or it'll tell me that I have to like pull an extra stick or something like that. There's a lot of different punishments on there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, first one is set in the present. Oh, did you just hear those shift? They just shifted. Okay, and we have a debut author. For the prompt of a debut author that's set in the present, I'm going to be reading Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. This is a book that I'm using for a vlog project, as well as it's on my 23 books to read in 2023. So really excited about this one. It is a YA kind of coming of age contemporary about a girl who like realizes that she's not as straight as she thought she was. She is, you know, falls for a girl in her school. And it's not really a romance. It's definitely more of like a discovering yourself type of story. And so like knowing that going in, I'm not expecting a romance, but I've heard wonderful things about this book. Despite it being a YA, I've heard really good things from people that also don't read a ton of YA. So I do have high hopes for this book. All right, pick number 2. Okay, and that's a yellow, which is set in the future. And this is a dark book. That means it can be like actually dark, like the cover is dark, or it can be a, like the content can be dark, whatever. Trying to add in as many Tor.com titles as possible. For the prompt of the dark book set in the future, I'm going to be reading Goliath by Tochi Nobuchi. This is a book that's set in the 2050s, so it is in the future, and pretty much the planet has been devastated, and so the rich and the wealthy have left the specifically the United States for space colonies, and like the people that are not as wealthy have to like survive in this post-apocalyptic world. Not too sure what this is going to be about, but I've heard really good things about it. It was a potential group book for the Tor.com-a-thon. It didn't end up winning, but like getting as many votes, but because it's a really dark book, but that's okay. We're just gonna read it. We're still gonna read it this month. All right, pick number 3. They're shifting. They're shifting. This is not gonna end well. We're gonna have marbles drop this time. All right, first in a series. For the prompt of a first book in a series that is set in the past, we're going to be reading A Touch of Light by Tiago Abdallah. This is another one that I'm going to be needing to read for the SPFBO, and this is the one that's been calling to me as like the most. Out of all of the other books that are left that I still have to read, this one is the one that's calling to me, and so I'm very excited about this one. And the second book just came out in the series, and so if I like it, I can continue on, but this is a political fantasy that is like, there's 2 different domains, 2 different eras, that one worships life and light, and one worships death and like respects death. And there's gonna be some sort of battle, war, I don't know. I'm trying to go into it kind of blind, but I am excited about it. Okay, pick number 4. Another yellow one. Tor.com has a lot of like science fiction ones, so that's why I'm kind of trying to pick a few future ones. Oh great, a big book. Love that. For the prompt of a big book set in the future, I'm going to be going with Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. This is a Tor title, so it will work for Tor.com-a-thon. This is one of the books that are on my self-destruct list, so I do want to get to it. And like, it's one of those books that like a lot of people really love and some people really hate, so I'm curious to see where I'm going to be on this. It's about 2 twins, Roger and Dodger, and they are like created from this alchemist, and shenanigans, I guess. They're like basically trying to take over the world. Okay, pick number 5. Set in the present. A female author. For For the prompt of a female author written in the present or set in the present, I'm going to be putting back on Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun back onto the TBR. I don't think I'm going to get to this by the end of February. I just don't. And so we're not going to rush it. We're just going to move it to March. I have heard some very mixed reviews about this one. This is the third book in the Finley Donovan series. I've heard some mixed things, but I will be reading it early in March because I think this is the group book for the Literally Dead book club, and so the live show will likely be like the first weekend of March, so I will need to read it early in the month, but we're gonna move it into that month. All right, pull number 6. Okay, I was struggling with that one. Okay, and we have a female author for this one as well. I had a lot of like repeats this time around, which is interesting, which makes sense because I like put the same prompt in different time periods, but just funny that they all came up at the same time. Again with repeats, and again with moving books into a TBR. For the female author set in the past, I'm going to be moving Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons by Quimby Olson onto March's TBR. This book is one of the ones that I'm going to be reading for SBFBO, and so I'm just trying to do myself a solid and create as many like overlap as possible. I talked about this one. This is about a spinster who like finds a dragon egg or inherits a dragon egg, and then the dragon egg hatches. So there's that. Okay, pull number 7. Okay. A KU book. For the KU book that's set in the past, I'm going to be using one of the SPFBO books. So it'll probably be either The Umbral Storm or Mysterious Ways, I think, are the two that I have left that are on KU. So it'll be one of those 2 books, and I have to read these books by the end of April, and I'm trying to read them all in March if I can. So we're going to try to knock those out. Okay, pull number 8. Okay, we've got another future one. A book for a vlog. For the prompt of a book for a vlog set in the future, this one was harder than I thought it was because I didn't have very many sci-fi books that were for vlogs coming up. But I do have Who Fears Death by Nydia Okorafor, and this is a book that I have for my R Fantasy. And so I think I'm going to be vlogging that. I guess now I am going to be vlogging that. This book is about a post-apocalyptic Africa and a woman who has survived the annihilation of her village and a terrible rape by an enemy general. She's wandering in the desert hoping to die. Instead, she gives birth to an angry baby girl with hair and skin the color of sand. Gripped by the certainty that her daughter is different, special, she names her Anyi Sonu. I'm going to need to see how to pronounce that, which means who fears death in an ancient language. This is going to be very dark, very heavy, but I have a feeling it's going to be really good. Okay, so far so good. We have 2 more left. Let's pull number 9. Okay, we got another present contemporary or thriller or something like that. Ooh, first in a series. For the prompt of first book in a series set in the present, I'm going to be doing If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. This is a closed-door contemporary romance that is a Cinderella retelling, but it's based around The Bachelor, and if the one of the contestants is a plus-size character. And I've heard so many really good things about this book, and I'm really excited about it, and it is kind of a first in a series. It's a bunch of like companion novels together that a bunch of romance authors are working together on. So like this one, and then the next book I think is By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. They're all kind of interconnected, so we're gonna count it. All right, and what will hopefully be our last poll. Oh, they all moved, but nothing fell down. So we have a green one. Okay, and we have a debut author. Lastly, for the debut author that is set in the past, I'm going to be going with A Marvelous Light by Freya Marski. This is a Tor.com title as well, so hitting those boxes. And this book is like a queer fantasy romance, so it's one that I'm really excited about. I don't know a ton about it, but really, really pretty. It's getting a resurgence because I think the third book in the series is about to come out, or is coming out, something like that. So it's getting a little bit of a resurgence. I've heard some people talk about it, and it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so these are the books that I have to read. It's a lot of them. Like I said, I also have The Pledge by Kel Dietrich, which is going to be our Not Your Mom's Boozy Book Club group pick. I'm hoping to join the Late Night Cruise group pick because it is an anticipated release of mine. And then the group book for Tor.comathon is going to be Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. It's a lot of books. It's a lot of books. I'm also not picking a Patreon pick because I did not finish The Fastest Way to Fall in February. I don't know that I'll be able to finish that one. I think I'm planning on reading that one the first week of March as well. So it's going to be a big TBR. It's going to be another big reading month. Fantastic. Let me know down in the comments below a book that you are really excited to read in the month of March. And if you are not feeling chatty, you can do a bird emoji because there's birds on this cover. I don't know. We'll just go with that. That is all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.